Hey, and good day. Today I want to share with you a very easy and simple way to add an extra font that is not embedded or shipped with the standard Divi theme. And instead of using a plugin, I'm going to show you just how to use a Google font, and with a little bit of code, how you can change, for instance, this plain Roboto font into a more fun this kind of font that is not typically standard included in Divi and Divi's font options. So for that we need to do a couple of things. We need to go to the Google Web Fonts website, which you can find on fonts.google.com. I'll show you in a minute. We need to go to our Divi theme options to integrate the new font, and we need to go to our text module to style the text module with the new font settings, so that we'll go from this plain and boring to this more playful outline font in this particular instance. Now, Google Fonts you can find on fonts.google.com, and there's literally a ton of fonts. I would probably say too many. And how many hours have I spent looking for just the right font for a particular project that I was working on. For today's exercise, I found the Jacques-François shadow font, or however you pronounce it. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can integrate that onto your website. Now, of course, on the right you can see there's all sorts of ways and categories you can search within the Google font library, and there's new fonts added, I'd say, almost weekly. You can also do a search if you know the name of the font, and there's a lot of things that you can do with it. I'm going to keep it simple, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to well, I had already selected it, so I'm going to actually deselect it. So you see that there's a plus sign here, and by clicking the plus sign, you see at the bottom there's a little notification that says that you've added one font family to your selection. So by clicking on it, it gives me a bunch of options. Now, one of the options here on the right is this little download button. You could actually download this very font onto your computer and use it in Photoshop or other text editing or graphics program. That's not what we're doing today. What we're doing is we're going to integrate this piece of code and this little bit of CSS. Now, this font is selected, and what I have here is the actual sort of link to the font, so that the website will know where to pull the font from, which is hosted on the Google server. That's why it's called a Google font. And for that, we need to actually select this piece of code, go to our WordPress installation and to the Divi theme options, and you need to go to where it says integration over here. And then you scroll down a little bit and you can see, and that's where you need to go. You need to go to the head tag of your blog, it says here, or website, and that's where you're going to add the code. You can see that there's already some code. This is actually the code for my Google Analytics, and you can see this box is very small. So by looking on the very right bottom corner, you see that there's a couple of lines. If you just click that and drag down, you can make this box much bigger. And make sure you go all the way to the bottom of this. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. You could just do it to the very top and just make sure that you leave some spaces in between. And I'm going to actually paste the code that I've just selected from the Google Fonts website. I'm going to paste that right here, and I'm going to go back up here and save the changes. Now you can see the changes have been saved. The font has now been added, and that doesn't mean that you can choose it from your font selector in the text module, for instance. But let's just see what we need to do in order to make this font turn into this font. It's actually pretty easy. Now this is the site, this is the page that that I'm editing, because I've just left this screen up to show you what it looks like, but I've removed the code for this particular exercise, because if I were to refresh this right now, it would go back to the original font. So I'm going to show you in real time what needs to happen. Now this is the first, second, third. This is the second module in the text modules in this section. So I'm going to click here on these three little stripes, and I see that indeed, and this is in Dutch anyway, but indeed this is the text that we're editing, and we need to go to our advanced module settings or design settings, and we need to go to the area that's called the main element. And what are we going to do at the main element? We're going to go back to our Google Fonts, the one that we selected, and although we included this one in the integration settings, now we need this one. That is a bit of CSS that we're going to add to our advanced main element module settings. And by doing so, we're telling that this piece of text should be rendered in this particular font. So let's go ahead, save and edit, and then update, and then go to the page that we're editing, the piece of text, and now refresh that, and you can see it turn it into that particular font that I like, or that I have chosen for this specific demonstration. So all you need to do is go to Google Web Fonts, integrate the font link into your integration settings, go to your text module, the particular one that you're editing, and then go to the advanced design settings and enter the CSS code, and you will be on your way to have just created or integrated a very beautiful, or whatever font you choose for your website, to give it that extra uniqueness, that extra personality. So I hope this was useful. Go ahead and have fun with it, and if you feel like sharing your work, please do so in the link below, in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing those. Thank you and good luck.